Hi everyone, welcome back to the next diecast. In today's video, I'll be unboxing and reviewing this 1/24 scale 1957 Chevrolet Corvette made by Maisto. I got this model from Amazon for just over $16 in total. It was from Amazon Warehouse Deals, so it came with some damaged packaging, but I was expecting that because that's what you would usually get from Amazon Warehouse Deals items. But this is the turquoise version, which I think looks really cool. So we'll go ahead and get this out of the box. You can see that they wrapped it up in kind of this shrink wrap. All right, there's the model. You can see the box is actually a fair bit damaged, but when you get models or items in general from Amazon Warehouse Deals, they'll often come with damaged packaging, but then you get a discount as a result, which is always good to see. A little bit of a dent back there. Get some tearing on the top there. I'm not going to keep this box because of that, which is not a big deal. Then you have the license by GM sticker down there. So we'll go ahead and get this Corvette out of the box. Open it up from the side right here. Alright. Alright, there's the Corvette right there. Love that blue. That is fantastic. All right, there's the Corvette. We'll just go ahead and get it off the base. Looks like it's going to be held down by 2 screws. So we'll get those unscrewed next, and then we'll take the straps off the model too. All right, here's the model off the base. I love that color. That is awesome. We'll just take off these 2 straps. All right, there's our Corvette. And of course, you got the opening doors and the opening hood. Looks like an awesome model. Now onto the review. All right, let's take a closer look at this 1957 Corvette by Maisto. Currently, you can find this model in this really awesome light blue that you see here, almost like a turquoise, as well as a black. And Maisto also makes this as a model kit as well, and that version comes in red. There really is no difference between the pre-built version that you see here and the model kit version, except for obviously the fact that for the model kit version, you build it, and you also get a second set of rims with that kit. Overall, I think Maisto did do a pretty good job with this model in terms of overall detailing and build quality. Maisto also used to make this 57 Corvette model in 1/18 scale as well. I actually do have the 1/18 scale version of this model in that kind of bronze brown color. And the details are going to be kind of similar for both, of course. But you can currently still find the 1/24 scale version for sale today. But for the 1/18 scale version, Maisto did discontinue that a couple of years ago, I believe. So I think Maisto did do an overall decent job with this model. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the details of the model. We'll start up here with the front. I think Maisto, for the most part, did a good job with the look and shape of this car. It might be a slight bit too large in some areas in terms of like proportions and whatnot, but I think as a basic shape, Maisto did really do a good job with the overall just kind of appearance of the 57 Corvette with this casting. And then in the front here, you will see with the headlights, they're fairly well done. They're just kind of the simple round headlights that you saw on the real life vehicle. And you have the nice separately cast chrome trim around the light bulbs themselves. There is a peg in each one, but Maisto actually puts them each in the center, but is where you would see the light bulb on the real car. So there may as well not be a peg there in that sense. And you can see for the center grille, it is actually a see-through grille, which is nice to see. Same goes for the 1/18 scale version. And then you have that nice detailed license plate bracket up here, done in chrome with the Corvette inscription going across the top. You do have separately cast fog lights, although oddly enough, they're done in chrome plastic as opposed to clear plastic. So that does look a bit odd, but at least they have them on there to begin with, I suppose. And then for the Corvette badge on the front end, it does look pretty well done. It's embossed on there. You can actually read the Chevrolet inscription up there and see that Corvette flag and the checkered flag in the center of that as well. For the paint quality, I would say Maisto did a decent job. The paint is, I think, a bit too thick in some spots, as you'll see here with the wheel well and above the fin here. But from a distance, it really does look well done, and you have kind of that nice glossy finish throughout. And I think the turquoise look is a very cool. This was an actual paint color offered on the real car, so I think that's cool that Maisto replicated this particular paint scheme on the car. But the paint, I would say, is decent for the most part for a 1/24 scale car. Taking a look next at the wheels and tires, I think Maisto did do a good job with those. Unlike the 1/18 scale version, these tires do look a bit better in terms of proportions to the wheels. So that looks good in that sense. And of course, the wheels are mounted on solid axles, so the car does roll nice and smooth as a result, which is nice to say. And then on the side here, you have the separately cast plastic fin, which looks awesome. And then you have that fuel injection inscription going along there in silver and the Corvette flags in front of that. So that does look well done. The windshield is mounted as a separately cast chrome piece. It is a bit on the thin side, so definitely don't pick up the car by the windshield, but the chrome does look good. The wipers are way too small though and shouldn't be totally chrome like that, but at least they're on there to begin with. And then back here you have the separately cast chrome trim around the seats as well as the chrome latches where the hardtop would go. If this car did come with a hardtop, which the real car did, it would kind of lock into place back here and kind of mount on the windshield like so. So cool attention to a detail there. Back here, Maisto did a good job with the rear of the car as well. There should be some red back here in these taillights, but Maisto didn't do that. They just molded them completely in chrome, so they definitely do look a bit too cheap in that sense. The 1/18 scale version does, of course, have better looking taillights, but this is a 1/24 scale version, so some finer details aren't going to be there. But I feel like they could have done the taillights a little bit better. And you do have the fuel injection inscription back here on the trunk lid and the Corvette badge below that. And the badge is actually raised up a slight bit. It's of course not a separately cast plastic piece, but the way it's kind of molded in the metalwork, it looks like it actually is. So that's a cool touch there. And then you have this rear mounted license plate bracket too that has the Corvette inscription on there. Looks good. In terms of opening features, you do have an opening hood on the model, which opens up like so. The engine detailing is okay at best. It is made up of maybe 2 or 3 different plastic components. Definitely a little bit too much chrome going on this main portion here. You do see that the radiator is molded as a separately cast plastic piece in kind of that gray plastic. And you do have some additional components here and there that are not in chrome, but for the most part, the main components of the engine are done in kind of this single chrome piece. I think more fine detailing would have definitely been welcome in here, but again, this is a 1/24 scale car, so you're not going to get a whole lot in that sense. And to be honest, if Maisto were to re-release this model like as a new model today, you definitely wouldn't even have an opening hood probably. You would just get the opening doors. But Maisto released this back, I think, in 2007 or something, so at least you have the opening hood and the engine in there. But definitely some more detail I think would have been welcome in there. But it still does look cool when you have the hood up like that. And when you have the model on the shelf from a distance, you can kind of see all those chrome touches in there and everything. So that's the engine bay there. And then, of course, you also have opening doors on the model as well. Decent detailing on the interior, I would say, for a 1/24 scale model. There is some detailing on the door panels, but not a whole lot. They're all done in kind of this white plastic. There is a nice texture going down the center of each door panel, but you would definitely see some chrome details in there and everything too, which the 1/18 scale version does, of course, have. But at least the general shape and look of the door panels do look well done. And you actually have those door pockets in there too. It almost seems like you can actually stick stuff in there, which is kind of cool. Okay, detailing on the dashboard. The gauges and the gauge cluster are all done as kind of a single sticker, but that's true for the 1/18 scale version too. But at least they do kind of blend into the white plastic of the dashboard, so you can't really tell from like a far distance like this that is just a big sticker, but at least the fonts and like the shapes of each of the gauges are accurate for the most part. And then you have this vent right here too, which should have some chrome detailing on it. But they did just do it all in white. But again, this is a 1/24 scale model, so you're not going to get total fine detailing in that sense. I do like how the dashboard continues from like the hood and everything. You have kind of that metal dashboard, and Maisto did, I think, accurately model that in this car. And then you do have that mirror kind of mounted on the dashboard there. That is done as a separately cast chrome piece, and that looks decent for the most part. And Maisto did actually put in these 6 buttons as separately cast chrome pieces, which look well done, I think, for the most part. And then you have that shifter on there too. That shouldn't be entirely in chrome, but at least it does look somewhat accurate to the real shifter. And then for the steering wheel, Maisto did a decent job with that. It is done all in black, and there should actually be some holes drilled in each of the steering wheel spokes, but they just have them as kind of like raised up lumps a little bit. You do have that Corvette badge in the center though, which I think should be painted on there. So definitely some more fine detailing, I think, in here would have been good to add as well, but I think what Maisto has in there is decent for the most part. These seats, I would say, are well done. You have kind of 2 different textures going on there. You have kind of that shiny, glossy texture for the trim, and then in the center you have kind of that more rough texture, which you would actually see on the real car. So they did a good job with the seats, I would say, for the most part. If you're looking for a 1/18 scale 1950s Corvette to add to your collection for a cheap price, I would say this is definitely a good choice for you. There are definitely some details that are missing from the model, but I think compared to Maisto's other releases of classic cars in 1/24th scale, this does hold up fairly well. You can, of course, get the model kit version as well if you would like to build it yourself, and that does come in red, as I already said. And then for the pre-built version, it does come in this turquoise as well as a black as well. So if you're a fan of Corvettes or classic cars in general, or cars from the 1950s, I would say this is a pretty good addition to your collection. So feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on this model here. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.